Hey, I thought for this module, I would share a couple of things that I've used with teams when it comes to resilience, and maybe you want to use them or find them helpful. So I'm just going to kind of roll through this and touch upon some of the key points of the different exercises. My mouse is, there we go. All right, so I would open with, a set of quotes. You can use whatever quotes you'd like to for this, kind of depending on what your topic is, but basically different quotes. And I would tell the group, giving each quote a corner of the room or part of the room, like I want you to go to that corner with the quote that you best identify with, and then within those small groups, and they would have discussion about what about the quote drew them to it, how it applies to their life, why they picked that one over all the other ones, and then we kind of go around and each group gets to discuss. So again, you can plug in whatever quotes you want. These are ones that I used last year with a team. So I would kind of go through this just as a setup about resilience. Why is resilience important? How many of you have had the same 2 days in a row, right? Every day is different. It changes hour to hour, minute to minute. I recently heard a podcast where Simon Sinek was saying, everybody wants to keep saying these are uncertain times, but really, when is there a certain time? And so I think that's why it's very important to teach resilience. And people say resiliency, right? Being resilient, it's kind of a hot topic word right now. The inability or refusal to change is primary cause of failure. So your immovableness, right? Your unwillingness or inability to adapt is usually what causes disappointment. Failure is kind of what this is saying. So the learning how to adapt, learning how to change is a crucial skill set. Things are going to happen, and I think this is probably a very cliche to us, especially in the sports world. It's not about what happens, it's about how you respond. And what is resilience? And so I would ask the group to just at their tables kind of come up with their own definition to see what they come up with. To kind of, it helps you know what you're working with in the room and kind of where their head's at on the topic. And the topic, the definition that I use is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep going towards your goal even more effectively than before. And I think the part, and why I have it all caps, the part that people overlook when it comes to being resilient is that you're not just bouncing back, but you're bouncing back with more. You're bouncing back better. You're bouncing back refocused, re-energized, re-strategized, right? So kind of spend some time unpacking what that more statement really means in the definition. So small group questions, again, at their tables, or if you want to have the team or the group in specific small groups that you have certain people talking to each other, then I would do that if that's your wish. But have them walk through these definitions, walk through these questions and come up with answers for them. And then obviously you would debrief after you give them. I would suggest at least 10 minutes for this. I think something that's really, the middle two questions are always yield very interesting responses because we want to be able to recognize resilience, and we also want to know, like, how can resilience maybe get us in trouble? Do we become too accustomed to adversity? Are we always seeking drama? Do we mistake like cheering and encouragement, enthusiasm for overcoming resilience? And are we really addressing what's going on? And so those questions always yield very interesting responses. And so I'd pay close attention there. So I play a video from Rocky. I can send this to you. It's obviously on this PowerPoint, so you can watch it here. I'll let it play. But there are 2 videos that I like to use, and this is the first one. So again, I'm not gonna let it play. I'm gonna keep going, but I can send you the link.
So you nervous about the fight?
But it's a conversation between Rocky and his son.
Don't look scared.
So basically, you would let them watch the video. It's about 3 minutes long, as you can see, and then just ask for major takeaways, the things that were said, maybe the things that weren't said, but just kind of try to get them unpack the scene a little bit. And then this is probably my favorite thing to do, and it takes a good amount of time because you really want to roll your sleeves up with it. But there is a book called How Full Is Your Bucket? There is one for kids, and there's a grown-up version. I use the one for kids. I think I've told you guys before, I use a lot of kids' books. The Sneetches is another one. I'm Gonna Like Me is another one. But so how full is your bucket? Basically, I provided a link to YouTube where you can hear someone telling a story. If I'm working with a group, I would read the story myself. But then if I'm not, if I'm trying to maybe do it via Zoom, I would have them watch a YouTube link of someone else reading the book before we get on the call, or maybe we'd watch it together, just like I had the Rocky video before. So the whole point of the book basically is talking about how everyone has a bucket over their head, and how full or how not full our bucket is what determines kind of our outlook on the day. And so the lesson that I drive home with this is that working on resilience starts long before adversity presents itself. Working on resilience is about how we take care of each other and treat each other during the good times, right? And so basically the best way of filling your own bucket and making sure your bucket is full, which allows you to kind of the capacity to handle change a whole lot more if you have something in your bucket. The best way to fill your bucket is to fill someone else's. So it's all about connection. It's all about team resilience. It's all about taking care of each other. And so basically after the book, and we kind of talk through those things, I put up on a board, a table, 2 columns. One side's bucket dippers, another side's bucket fillers, whatever order you want to do it. But each player or team member would have to go up and write down a behavior about themselves that they know fills people's buckets, and one where they know dips and takes away from people's buckets. And so this is an exercise in self-awareness. It's an exercise in sharing and kind of giving. Also, when a player writes something on here, his or her teammates to comment on what was said. And it also helps teammates recognize maybe when someone's bucket is low, right? If we're having dipping behaviors, then we know that our teammates might need a little filling up. So that's a quick exercise there. Again, the bucket exercise takes a while. I would definitely allot for at least an hour, depending on how many teammates you have. And then something I started doing last year was having the students become the teachers. Obviously, you can do this with anything, any topic, but with resilience, I give them about 10-15 minutes where they have to go and put together a 5-minute lesson on resilience. And they've gone and made videos. One group has gone and made an obstacle course. And so the students have to come back and then teach the rest of the team on resilience and why they think it's important. So that's gone really well as of late. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. I just thought it'd be something different and applicable, hopefully, for you. And so if you have any follow-up questions or want links to the videos, just let me know. All right, go Tigers.